Hi guys, welcome to another exciting episode of a program Unscripted. Trust you're doing okay today and trust you're staying safe. On today's episode, I'll be talking about the English Premier League week 18. So we had 8 games played on Boxing Day and 2 games played on the 27th of December. Also, I'll be looking at the Premier League table standing after week 18, and also we'll be looking at the top scorers charts in the English Premier League. So let's quickly dive into today's conversation. Manchester City and Everton were the early kickoff on Boxing Day, so the game ended 1-1, and that's quite surprising because Manchester City, like I said in previous episode, they are struggling this season. So they've won just one game in about 14 appearances across various competition. They've lost 6 games in the Premier League this season so far, which is Pep Guardiola's worst season as a manager. I don't know how he's going to overturn this form for Manchester City because it's quite surprising. Yeah, I know they've got a couple of injury worries, like Rodri is out injured, but some of their players are back from injury. Doku is back from injury. Kevin De Bruyne is back from injury. Foden is back from injury, but they've lost this confidence compared to Manchester City of before. Now even Erling Haaland is finding it difficult to get a goal. I don't think he's scored in about 4 appearances for City, which is quite surprising. So they drew the game against Everton. They went 1-0 the first 16 minutes where Bernardo Silva scored the goal, but Everton equalized in the 36th minute. So we had other games played on the 26th on Boxing Day. We had the game between Newcastle versus Aston Villa, which ended in favor of Newcastle. Newcastle won that game 3-0. Alexander Isak again on the score sheet. That's making it his 11th Premier League goal of the season. He's having a fantastic time, trust me, in the Premier League. Joelinton scored in that game as well. Then Anthony Gordon put Newcastle United 1 goal in that game. So we had other games between Bournemouth and Crystal Palace, which ended goalless draw. Nottingham Forest defeated Tottenham Hotspur 1-0, and that goal was scored by Anthony Elanga, who's having a very, very fantastic season in Nottingham Forest. Also, Nottingham Forest, they've recorded a number of 10 wins this season compared to the entire of last season, which they won just 9 games last season. But now they've won 10 games in 18 match played. Southampton and West Ham ended 1-0 in favor of West Ham. Then we have Wolverhampton and Manchester United, which ended 2-0 in favor of Wolverhampton Wanderers, which was a very, very surprising game to me. In this game, Marcus Rashford was also out of the Manchester United squad, making it his 4th game in a row, I think, that has been left out of the Manchester United squad by the new manager. I don't know why, but the last interview that the manager had, he said he decides who plays, who he wants to put in the squad, and depends on the players' attitude and their training. That will depend if they will be put in the squad for the match day. So Marcus Rashford is still left out of the Manchester United squad. We don't know what's going on behind the scene, if he's going to leave in the January transfer window or if he's still going to be in the club till the summer. So we just keep our fingers crossed on that particular story. Wolverhampton, they've got a new manager who is also having a good time there. He's won 2 games on the bounce right now against Manchester United, which is quite good for them. Then the late kickoff for Saturday, on Boxing Day, was a game between Liverpool and Leicester City. The game ended 3-1 in favor of Liverpool. Though in that game, Leicester City went ahead early in the game. I think in the first 6 minutes, where Andre Ayew scored the opening goal for Leicester, and Liverpool came back with Salah and a couple of other players who got the goal for Liverpool. So Liverpool won the game against Leicester City 3-1. So that's the game on Boxing Day. Then on the 27th, we had just 2 games played in the Premier League. Brighton and Brentford was the first kickoff for the day. It ended goalless draw. Then we had the game between Arsenal and Ipswich. You know, Arsenal, they lost their talisman, their key player, talking about Bukayo Saka in last week's game where he pulled his hamstring. So he's going to be out of the squad for the next couple of weeks, roughly about 8 to 10 weeks out of the squad. Arsenal were able to still get a win against Ipswich against all odds. People were thinking, oh, without Saka, Arsenal can't really do much, but they were able to get a win. Goal scored by Kai Havertz, assisted by Trossard. So Arsenal won that game against Ipswich 1-0. So I'll just quickly go through the Premier League table and see how the table stands as at today. So obviously Liverpool, they are still on top. So they've played 17 games. You know, they've got one game in hand. So that's the game between Everton that was rescheduled. So they've played 17 games. They've got 42 points. So Arsenal is now in the second position after Chelsea lost to Fulham 2-1. So Arsenal, they've moved to the second position on 36 points. Chelsea, they currently occupying the third position, 18 games on 35 points. Nottingham Forest, like I said, they've moved to the fourth position, 18 games on 34 points. Newcastle, fifth position, 18 games, 29 points. Bournemouth, they're on the sixth position, 18 games, 29 points. Manchester City, they played 18 games, they've got 28 points, currently on the seventh position. Then Fulham, they occupy the eighth position, 18 games, 28 points. Aston Villa occupied the ninth position, 18 games, 28 points. And Brighton occupied the 10th position, 18 games on 26 points. So that's the Premier League table as it stands after week 18. So before we go, I'll just quickly go through the top scorers charts in the Premier League after 18 games played. So occupying the first position is Liverpool Mo Salah, who is having a fantastic season so far. He's played 17 games in the Premier League and he has scored 16 goals and 11 assists. Followed by Erling Haaland, who is occupying the second position. He scored 13 goals, having played 18 games, and he's got just one assist. We have Cole Palmer, who is having a very, very, very wonderful season. He scored a goal against Fulham on Boxing Day. So he scored 12 goals in 18 games. Alexander Isak, which I talked about, is also having a brilliant season with Newcastle. He scored 11 goals in 16 games. Then Matheus Cunha of Wolverhampton Wanderers, he scored 10 goals in 18 games. Brian Obamo for Brentford scored 10 goals in 18 games. Then Chris Wood for Nottingham Forest, having the season of his life, he scored 10 goals in 18 games. So that's all for the Premier League roundup for the week 18 games. Thank you so much for your time. Kindly drop your comment, tell me what you think, and also like the video and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. See you guys on the next episode.